There was a lady in Yokohama in Japan, and she's walking out of her house this morning. They're way ahead of us in time. And she said to her neighbor, "Ohio!" Yokohama. That's where my assistant Nina comes from. Her husband is Taiwanese. Japanese married Taiwanese. And their little beautiful daughter, Anna Grace, she's the sweetest. And Yokohama is the city I couldn't think of last time I taped. And it's famous for its baseball teams. I think it's the Giants, the Yokohama Giants. So I say good morning to you. I trust all is well. We're reading in Mark. We're reading through Mark, and we're in chapter 9, and we're at verse 37. Jesus has seen them arguing about who was the greatest. You know, Peter, James, and John were taken up on the Mount of Transfiguration earlier in that chapter, in this chapter, I think. Or was it chapter 8? No, it was 9. And, you know, Peter, who knows? Peter, James, and John could have said, hey, who'd he call? Hey, Philip, I didn't see you on the mountain. Where were you? He chose us. He chose us. Peter could have said that. There's always that rivalry, right? And the Lord's trying to teach them that's the last thing we need in the kingdom. That's very un-Christ-like. Jesus was the servant of all. And that's what he said greatness was. And he brought a little child in their midst to give them an example of that childlikeness, not childishness. And then he said, he took the child in his arms. Whoever welcomes or receives one little child such as this in my name welcomes me. Whoever welcomes one little child, this important verse, wouldn't you say? Such as this in my name. In other words, representing me and my kindness and my love. A little child receives them, takes them, holds them, helps them, loves them, encourages them. Whoever does that welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me does not welcome me, but him who sent me. Oh, we could write a 300-page book on that verse, can't we? Whoever welcomes a little child welcomes me in my name. In other words, representing me in the spirit of what I'm about and who I am. We don't really believe that, do we? You know, Mother Teresa in India, who's now dead, she said that the only way she got how she would serve all these hideous disfigurements and beggars and people, all the poorest of the poor, the worst of the worst, that's all she would take in. And she said, because Jesus said, when you receive those people, you receive me. She would just look at them and say, I'm looking at you now, Jesus. I'm changing the wound. I'm putting gauze, bandage. No, not for you. It's for Jesus. Try to teach the women who work with her. Do the same. So I didn't work with people. I work with Jesus today. Is that not revolutionary, that verse and that thought? This is just a child welcoming a child. You can welcome a child, can't you? My grandfather on my father's side was an alcoholic of sorts, and I don't believe he's ever served the Lord. But one day he handed me, I was in the back of a car, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And he called me Sonny, and he said, wheel down, bring down the window. I was inside in the back. He was outside. He said, put out your hands, Sonny. Called me Sonny, I don't know why. And I put out my little dirty little hands. And he went in his pocket, and he had a whole handful of change, and he gave it to me. I still remember it to this day. I can see I was under an L. I don't know where in Brooklyn, but under an L, a subway, overhead subway, for those who don't know that. And I thought, my heart almost stopped beating. There were quarters in there. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about not just pennies and nickels. I'm talking about quarters, lots of them, and dimes, and they were just filled up my little hand. I thought, I can retire now. I don't have to go to work. Mom, forget plans for high school and college. I'm retiring now. That's how you are when you're a little kid. So now when I see little kids sometimes and I have change, which is rare now, I give it to them. I don't know them. I see them in the lobby with their parents of the church. And Jesus said, when you welcome and receive a little child, you're not welcoming that child. Today, when you see that little child and you're thinking of what Pastor Jim Cymbala read from Mark 9, you can receive Jesus. No. Yeah. He said so. Whoever welcomes a little child in my name welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes my Father who sent me, who I'm the exact representation of. So every day, it can be pretty exciting. What do you think? No, I'm convicted myself. How we treat others in need and just little children. He didn't say a good kid, a bad kid, a white kid, a black kid, a Latino kid, a Jewish kid, a Gentile kid. He didn't say anything, just a little child. Spiritual growth and greatness in the kingdom hangs on little common things every day. It's not climbing up a mountain on your knees to go to a grotto and do the sign of the cross over the statue of the Virgin Mother. No. It's receiving a child, being kind. Who gives a glass of water in my name, he's going to say soon, will never miss their reward. They got a reward. So if a glass of water gets a reward, oh my goodness. What if we go about doing good today? Who knows that, you're watching me today, and I'm a pastor and have been so for a while. Maybe your reward is much greater than mine, because I've tried to do what I'm called to do, but maybe through your good works, not to be saved, but because you're saved, because you belong to Christ. Those little glass of water. If a glass of water gets a reward, how about a glass of milk? Or how about buying someone a meal? Whoa, your reward, no, Pastor, no. You have little faith. You're saying to yourself, no, that can't be. Well, then is Jesus lying to us? Come on. Let's trust and obey. For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. Let's bless someone today in Jesus' name. See you next time.